Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing my Eagle Run 12 kayak by Field & Stream. It's an excellent little kayak that I've had for about 4 or 5 years, and I'm getting ready to sell it, so I wanted to give it a good review before I did. So I'm going to start with the stability. It's a very stable kayak. I've hauled in a lot of big fish, handled some pretty swift currents and stuff, and I've never had a thought that it would turn over. I've turned it over a couple times, but that's mostly because I was being stupid and negligent. Maneuverability, also something that's very good with this kayak. I've handled really swift currents on big rivers, small creeks, avoiding like log jams and down trees and stuff. The tracking of this boat is a little bit iffy. I mean, it's a flat bottomed hull, as you can see, so it's kind of to be expected, but with the flat bottomed hull, the tracking is definitely going to be not the greatest. And the weight, I've never had an issue with how heavy this kayak is. I know I've talked to some people that have used this kayak and they say that they find it very heavy, but to me it's not that heavy. I can load it up onto my truck, which I have a Toyota Highlander with the racks up there on the top. I can throw it up there, no issue, tie it down with ratchet straps and be on the road within minutes. To handle the weight, like it's got these little handles right here. These handles right here are not the originals. The originals fell off when I made a mistake on a trip and didn't tie down a ratchet strap correctly, and it fell off the back of the van on the interstate going like 70 miles an hour. So as you can see, I kind of took a little bit off the top, which the original handles went with it. So I had to take some garden hose with some cord and replace them. But the original handles were really comfortable. They had like little grooves in them. Yeah, they were pretty nice. So I'm going to talk about the storage a little bit. So you've got these bungees on the front and some bungees on the back. Bungees on the front I would use to store things that I don't plan on using in the water, like a sleeping bag or a small duffel bag. With the back bungees tie down this storage pod, which is removable. And you can put things in there like a sleeping bag, a tent, or a duffel bag or something. And also with the storage pod, it's got a little locking mechanism right here with a hatch. And I've never had an issue with it leaking. It's always stayed dry. I've lost it in the water a couple of times when I turned the kayak over, and it's always stayed afloat and never got wet. Also, these things come with rod holders. This is the original one, and right here I have my like little custom made rod holder for drift fishing, which you can actually, they're bolted down right here. These are the original bolts, and you can, like if you were to do something like this, you can always just put the old one back in there. But these rod holders are great if you're just traversing the water and you need something to hold your rods as you're going to your fishing hole. So you have some other bungees, like this one here on the side. There's one here, and then there's one on the other side. And with these bungees, you can wrap them around this little knob right here. And I've used these to store things like an ultralight rod, or like you can see right there, I've got my paddle strapped to it, and they're great. So what I would do is just have my rod or my paddle, the handle right here, and then run it all the way down the side of the kayak, and then slip the tip of the rod under here to keep it flush up against the hull of the kayak. So also with this kayak, it's a 12-footer, and as you can see, there's plenty of room up in the front. And a lot of times I will use the front of the kayak to store things that I'm using while I'm fishing. You've also got these footholds right here that are adjustable. My friend and I are kind of tall guys, like I'm 6'1" and he's like 6'4", and I have no complaints about, you know, it not being long enough and me being too tall for the kayak. So something I definitely recommend for taller guys. And in the back of the hull, you can see there's some storage room. I wouldn't recommend storing things that you're going to use while you're out on the water, because once you've got this seat up right here, it's pretty difficult to get back up underneath the kayak to get gear out. So you've also got this seat right here. The seat, I'm kind of like in a love-hate relationship. I'll just say the negatives first. The padding's kind of thin, and it's got this goofy little cup holder that's pretty much useless. But the positives, it's very sturdy, very durable. It's also got this little strap right here that can adjust to hold the seat, you know, as far forward or as far back as you need it to be. Overall, I mean, it's a fine seat. I find it kind of uncomfortable after I've been sitting in the kayak for hours on end, but I imagine a lot of seats will probably be that way. Also, you've got these little side pads right here. My big complaint with these are that they're held down with little pop divots, and they didn't really last that long. They had the padding started coming off the divots pretty soon after I bought the kayak, and I ended up just having to take these zip ties and threading them through the hole to hold the pads down. But I will say it's nice to have pads up against the side of the cockpit just so you can like rest your arm. So one reason I'm selling this kayak and buying a sit on kayak is for fly fishing. In fly fishing, you got to strip your line out, and in doing that I have to basically raise my arms above the sides of the cockpit, which then engage the shoulders, and after a while, I mean, I'm just completely smoked. It feels like I got a full shoulder workout in at the gym. So that's why I'm going with the sit-on kayak, something that I can sit up a little higher above the kayak, and then being able to strip my line down instead of out and across the hole. So it's just more of a personal reason for me, but for fly fishermen out there considering something like this, it may be something to take into consideration. Well guys, please feel free to leave any comments or questions you have about this kayak, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out some of the other videos we have on the channel. We've got a ton of them. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.